Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's do a Valentine ombre tumbler today. We're going to start out with this wine tumbler from Tipsy Magnolia. We're going to pop the bottom thing off and we're going to sand it and get it nice and cleaned up and get ready for the next step. Once I get it wiped down with the alcohol, I'm going to go in with this Prime Time. It's kind of cold where I'm at, so inside's the best place for me. I'm going to do a really good thick coat, solid coat all over this tumbler. I am going to get into the bottom, the little nooks and crannies down there. I'm going to let this dry for a few hours, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to epoxy and glitter. For my glitter adhesion, I'm just going to use Flynn Sisters Fast Set, and for the glitter is going to be the Warehouse Mix and Basic, both from the Glitter Guy. For the bottom, I'm going to use the Warehouse Mix. I'm going full coverage around that bottom rim, and then I'm going to tilt my tumbler almost completely vertical because I do have to go past that little hump. Now, as you can see, this has all the shapes, all the shards, all the things in this mix. It's actually pretty cool. For the top part of the tumbler, we're going to go in and use Basic, which just came out of that warehouse box that I got, and that was in the last video if you wanted to go back and see all the goodies they sent. And this is the same thing, full coverage around the rim, almost vertical until I get the blend that I like. For just a little extra something, I'm going to go in with a couple of others. This is Birthday Cake from Peachy Olive Glitters, and we're going to go in and kind of fill in the top part of this ombre. We are going to let this fall down as far as it wants, but as you can see on the bottom of that, there's a lot of white still poking through, so I'm going to use Blushy Slushy. This is a really good fine that's going to go in and fill in all of those little holes. We're going to blend it all in, and we are going to roll it up in some paper because there's a lot of chunkies going on there, and then we're going to get a couple of layers of epoxy on it. I originally wanted to put this heart lace decal around the very top edge, but there is a taper to the cup that I just didn't want to battle with, to be completely honest. So what I'm going to end up doing is just taking out the heart insides, and I'm just going to put those all around the cup, kind of like polka dots. I'm going to use the big hearts and fill in as much as I want, and wherever I think that there needs to be a little something extra, I'm going to take those little tiny hearts and place those. Once I'm happy with all these big hearts and these little hearts, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to cut off anything that is hanging over an edge, and then I'm going to move on to the main decal. For my decal, I just went into Silhouette Studio and typed out "Love You," and I used the font Beach, and it is from Creative Fabrica. The offset is a metallic-y kind of shifty pink, and the actual decal itself is the exact same white pearly vinyl that the hearts are in. In order to place my decal on my offset, I'm going to use the parchment method like I normally do. I'm going to make sure that there is a piece of that transfer tape hanging over, so I have kind of like an anchor. Get it lined up. I'm going to slip the parchment paper out, press it all together with my squeegee, and then we're going to get it on the cup. Once we get the decal placed, and it's just super cute and very simple, we're going to move on to the bottom. I'm going to use UV resin for the bottom, and we're going to use those two extra glitters, Birthday Cake and Slushy Blushy. And we're going to put the darker of the two, which is the Slushy Blushy, around that outer ring. We're going to let that cure until it is not tacky to the touch, and move on to the middle glitter. For the birthday cake in the middle well there, I did mix it very glitter heavy. So I'm going to put it in, but I am going to go in and add just a little bit more of UV resin to the actual well of the cup, because there's just really too much glitter, and I don't feel that it will cure properly all the way to the bottom with how thick of a saturation that glitter is. But it's the same thing. We're going to stir it in, we're going to hit it with our torch, and then we're going to cure it under our light until all of this is no longer tacky to the touch. Now I had one last big heart left, so I'm going to place that on the bottom, put a little bit of epoxy over it, cure it all, and then I'm going to epoxy this whole tumbler until smooth. And here we go. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.